Is Alice in Wonderland a story about spiritual awakening? Most people remember Alice in Wonderland as a fantastical tale about a young girl having adventures in a nonsensical world. The original story, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, was written by Lewis Carroll, who insisted it had no hidden meaning. But when we examine the story's symbols and progression, it appears to follow mythological patterns commonly associated with psychological and spiritual transformation. To start with, going down the rabbit hole has become synonymous with having one's worldview seriously disrupted or shattered completely. That phrase comes directly from Alice's story, as it begins when she follows a white rabbit down a rabbit hole into a world where everything she thought she understood no longer makes sense. In the 1960s, Alice in Wonderland became closely associated with psychedelics like LSD and magic mushrooms. This is understandable, as throughout the story, Alice's perception, and even her physical form, is repeatedly altered after consuming mysterious substances. Then there is the famous hookah-smoking caterpillar sitting atop a fly agarig, an iconic mind-altering mushroom often associated with dissociation and ego dissolution. Not only that, the caterpillar repeatedly asks Alice,
"Who are you?"
which is one of the oldest questions in spiritual practices. Her journey is also one of continually confronting ideas that challenge her assumptions about herself and the world. She begins the story polite, submissive, and intimidated by authority figures like the Queen of Hearts, but by the end she boldly confronts both the Queen and the King, declaring they are nothing more than a pack of cards. A house of cards is a common metaphor for authority that appears powerful but is ultimately fragile. Carroll's original title for the story was Alice's Adventures Underground. In mythology, heroes often descend into the underworld before returning transformed. Hercules journeys to Hades. Dante descends into hell in Dante's Inferno. Wonderland functions the same and is a literal underworld. Carl Jung famously linked underworld descents with psychological and spiritual transformation, seeing them as symbolic journeys into the unconscious from which a person returns fundamentally changed. Whether Lewis Carroll intended it or not, Alice in Wonderland has become deeply ingrained in our collective consciousness, and perhaps that's because beneath its apparent nonsense lies one of humanity's oldest stories, the journey of awakening.